Again, a third Louisville family in just 1 year packing up their lives, not for opportunity, but for safety. Their destination is the same, out-of-state residential facility chosen by 2 families before them.
3 families, 1 decision, and a growing question. Why are parents independently concluding that Kentucky can't protect their children with autism? Brooke Hash and chief photojournalist Philip Murrell explain.
If 15-year-old Chase Crawford had the choice, he'd probably stay here forever. Not just in his hometown of Louisville.
There you go, 2 for 1. Don't give up, you can do it.
But in the care of loving staff at the Bluegrass Center for Autism, people he's known most of his life, with all the therapies to help him grow toward independence.
Pretty much everything you can imagine.
Chase is nonverbal and has profound autism. His mom, Shannon, says day programs in Louisville have been their lifeline since diagnosis. But everything changed about 5 years ago.
When you look at profound autism and puberty, it's a different game.
Chase has been known to elope or slip out of the house and doesn't understand danger.
Chase, stop.
At 5'9" and 160 pounds,
he feels no pain. I drive a truck, there's a 3rd row, he sits in the back. He sits in a harness, he's in there. I have autism stickers all over it.
The damage is evident at home, too.
We have lots of broken iPads, probably 30 in that cabinet over there, broken windows.
So when did we go from we're tolerating this, we're doing our best, to this can't go on anymore?
I would say probably, so when I saw the story that you aired with Rachel, that was the wow factor in me.
It was a year ago this month, a Louisville family got into the car and headed for Wichita, Kansas, to a place their son Frankie Moldavanu now calls home. We were there for his parents' heartbreaking goodbye, and we followed their journey at Heart Spring ever since. Turns out, we weren't the only ones.
To send my son 700 miles away, to relinquish my control of him, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Chase will be the 3rd kid from Louisville living there, and 9th from Kentucky.
He knows something's coming because he's probably given me more hugs and kisses in the past month than he has since he was a little boy.
She says letting him go is the only way she can be a mom to both her children.
He needs 24/7, care around the clock. He will probably need it for the rest of his life.
Care that isn't here. Chase's grandfather, Ron Carmichael, says the problem isn't hidden. It's structural.
At this point today, there is not a facility in the state of Kentucky that's capable and designated to handle profound autistic residents 24 hours a day.
Carmichael helped build the Fern Creek campus for Bluegrass Center for Autism, but says day programs aren't enough.
These families, they're trapped.
He says building these facilities isn't the real hurdle.
It's not as much the capital expense it takes to build a facility. It's what's it take to run that facility 365 days a year.
He estimates Kentucky would need hundreds of beds.
400, 500.
And long-term commitment.
But if Medicaid is already paying for it out of state, they surely would be able to pay for it in state.
Yes, but I feel like the challenge is the commitment. They're agreeing to pay for this in perpetuity.
Carmichael says as long as he's living, he'll work to make sure there's a place for Chase to come home to.
There's no map for any of this. Everything I did was through other moms.
A community ready to fight and ready to build.
We're eventually, by the grace of God, going to get a place back here so my son can come home.
In Louisville, with chief photojournalist Philip Murrell, Brooke Hash, WHAS 11, on your side.
And parents say the question now isn't whether Kentucky can do better, but how many children will leave before it does.
By the way, we invite you to follow Brooke's coverage on this issue on our WHAS 11 streaming app. Just search for Autism Care when help isn't here.